Look at him. Look how smart he is. People say that they have a brain the size of a pea.
They look like it.
And I've also, you know what else I've heard? This is the dumbest thing. I have read so many comments that say Carl is a prehistoric bird.
I believe it.
Dude, he's 3 years old. Prehistoric is like millions of years ago, but he's 3. How can he be prehistoric?
Hey, look at him. He's old. He's good.
Dude, he's 3. He's 3 years old.
I guess he ages differently, I guess. I don't know.
No, I think that's funny. They say prehistoric meaning his bloodline runs through millennia. So you know I was joking. You know I was joking, right? Carl's not prehistoric. He's only 3. People. Yeah, so Cornholio is the little male turkey there following Janky Jan. Janky Jan belongs to Cornholio, or at least he thinks. Now, don't make fun of her little walk. She's had a rough life, okay? She's been around the block a few times, and she's a rescue from a vicious dog attack. But here's the problem. You see, Carl gets too close, and she likes old, tall, dark, and handsome. And she goes, I want some of that. Yet Carl wants none of her. Now, I have to ask you this one last question before you leave me. Have you ever found yourself in a position of your own Janky Jan, someone that was just too boy crazy, who would not leave you alone, and you found yourself having to be like Carl and just running?
No.
Never?
Never.
Okay.
Never.
You've never had a girl chase you the way...
I've never had a girl make a first move. Let's put it that way.
Oh, here we go. Here we go again. Well, consider yourself lucky. At least Carl says.
Okay.
So you wait. Are you saying that you'd rather have some Janky Jans following you around school and stuff? And
maybe not if her name is Janky Jan.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well,
But,
of course we'd all like for some hotties to be following us around.
Oh yeah, for sure. But
there's something else you'd ever see. Look at that. You think you know what that is?
No, I don't want to know what that is. I don't want to know what that is, because I could come up with a lot of different things for that. What that is.
Okay. All right, is this thing working? Good morning, folks. Lester here, and I'm hanging out with Carl. And today we're going to try and experiment something that Rick, Think Like a Horse Rick, has suggested. What I have is a bucket of Carl's favorite foods, and I'm going to go get a ladder. Rick suggested that we start feeding Carl from an elevated position where Carl has to look up to us in order to eat. Don't ask me why he said do that, but we're going to try it out, so you guys bear with me a moment. All right, so you guys have to excuse the noise. We do have a contractor here working on the new water well, and they have some machinery off in the distance. That used to be a factor with Carl, but I don't think it bothers him as much. I'm trying to find a good place to put my ladder. I want to be on level ground. So I'm going to set the ladder right there. I think you'll be able to see okay. There we go. Let's go and see how this goes. Now, I want to be up above Carl. He needs to be able to see me from up above him. And supposedly, this is going to do something to his psyche, where he sees me feeding from an elevated position. So now, as you can see, I'm actually taller than Carl. And so in saying so, Carl's not looking down upon me. I'm actually looking down upon him. I'm going to go up one notch higher. Now I'm going to go by hand. Not exactly sure what I'm doing here. Come on over, Joey. My cousin Kenny, you know cousin Kenny. His son Joey's here. And I'm going to ask Joey. Now, Joey did not come over to talk animal science, I don't believe.
What?
Come on into my video. Have you met Carl?
The ostrich, no.
All right, well, this is Carl. And I've been talking to a fella that knows animal behavior. And Carl has given me a hard time lately. He and I have been going back and forth. It's an alpha male kind of a thing.
Did you give him a hug?
I tried to hug him, and I ended up getting, it's a long story. A lot of folks have never seen that side of Lester. He actually is saying, who the hell are you? Anyway, so the ostrich fella says, instead of feeding him here, looking up at him, which puts me in a very vulnerable position, like it shows him as the dominant, he told me to get a ladder and raise myself up above him and feed him looking down upon him, which will over time do something to his psyche. Can you analyze that at all? What do you think of that? Because he didn't give any further explanation.
Well, I don't think an ostrich would want to mess with something that's taller than it. So I can see how it would work.
So they're so used to looking down upon those that they have dominance over.
You gotta show that you're bigger than him.
So here's my thing. I've never had a problem with Carl while feeding him. I've only had a problem when I've gone in the pasture without feed. That's where he likes to show his dominance of the pastures. And so I'll be interested to go in there next with the ladder and feed him from inside the pasture. So that's what we're gonna go next. Can you do me a favor?
Yeah, what's up?
And just the camera's already rolling. I don't know if it's gonna be high enough to see over the fence. So what I'm gonna do is take it out of the tripod. And if you don't mind, just keep the video rolling. I'm gonna flip it around. What we're gonna do, Joey, is we're gonna go inside the pasture. I'll get the gate. But I'm gonna inch my way in, and that's good. If you will just watch Carl, he's walking over here now, and he's thinking, okay, you don't look so tough. But then all of a sudden I go up. I'm on the second step of the ladder. It's okay, don't worry about Ringo. And all of a sudden, you really me are looking at Ringo. Now looky here. So Carl's having a hard time figuring this out. You can't even focus on me, can you? For anyone who's, hand me that camera real fast. The reason that Joey is moving around so much is because Ringo has come out of the pasture. Ringo has snuck out. He's not going to come back in.
Yeah, I don't think he is.
And
if I turned into a ragdoll by this go, I wouldn't.
No, he's not looking for trouble right now. Here you go. Can you video again? Okay, I think it's still videoing. Carl is not real sure what's going on. I've come inside here with Carl, and he's just not real sure if he likes me being inside here, being higher than he is. Yeah, I'm not real sure of the psyche, but here's what I believe is going on. I think that there's an alpha male dominant kind of thing with Carl. Him being new here, he's only been here for less than 4 weeks. He's kind of learned that he wants to be the alpha in this pasture. And so, which has been okay. I don't mind him being a protector of all the babies. We don't mind that at all. But what I do have trouble with is him not allowing me to come into the pasture. And that's the problem that we have to get past. He doesn't have any teeth here. He has really horrible aim. So he's dropping what he's actually getting. But I need him to...
Ow. Well, it looks like it hurts.
It doesn't hurt. Not at all. So Maggie's trying to help get Ringo back in the pasture. Yeah, Carl is cute watching his little face, his facial expressions. And if you notice, Joey, Maggie, we're gonna love, baby. If you notice, Joey, look how Carl takes a mouthful because he doesn't swallow it. He kind of holds it in his throat. I want to pause the video because... So Carl is out of his comfort zone when I'm inside there on the ladder. And that's good because as of right now that I'm back out, you can just read Carl's body language. Look how more dominant he appears. You see how he's kind of like...
He's posting up, bro.
He is posting up, as the kids say. He's getting himself nice and big to become more of a threat. And see, now that I'm feeding him from down here, he's looking down at me, which puts me in his mind, I'm inferior to him. He's the superior alpha male, and I'm very inferior. And he likes it that way. But the problem with that is, if I did not have this feed bucket and I just walked inside there, he remembers me as the guy who he can pick on and bully on and who's going to turn around running, screaming. And we don't want that. We have to change that perception. So what we're going to have to do when we're going to start during feed time is walking to feed Carl, using the step ladder. And over time, he'll learn that he's going to go for my finger here, not the... Listen, I like the way even you read his body language. Have you ever seen an ostrich in real life?
Only at the zoo, but they don't attack me.
No, they don't attack. But even you read that he was ready to post up. He's getting big. He's getting defensive. You've seen Animal Planet. And so we have learned so much about Carl, and we're learning more every day. And I want to say thank you to Rick, who gave me some really good information here. And Rick sent me an entire list of things to do. And I think it's really neat, Joey, how you take somebody who, I don't know if Rick has ever seen an ostrich, but what he's learned to do is read animal behavior. And so from a couple of videos that I've made, Rick has analyzed what he sees in the body language, and he's kind of like broken it down to what he has seen with his horses and other animals he's been around, even people, even humans. You know when someone wants to post up, when they're trying to get big and, you know, show some domination.
Clearly, I don't do that very well.
You don't do that?
No, I'm not a dominant person.
Well, Carl and I have gone back and forth, and like I said, we're just trying to live in unison, we're trying to live in harmony, and there's things that I have to do in this pasture that I just cannot give him complete access to. Well, he has access, but he has to allow me to come in and do my job without always trying to run me out of there. And it has been we've had some tussles. All right, good video.
You ever ride the ostrich?
I'm never going to ride the ostrich.
I wouldn't either. Like Black Beauty, you know, they bond in that movie.
Okay.
And the horse lets the girl ride.
Isn't that a Disney movie, though? So, see, that's the problem. You're watching too many Disney movies.